Hello, FCS 2250 computer application students. Well, we made it. Our last skills check exam of the class. We're in Access. Section 2. Let's go ahead and get her done. All right, we're going to jump over here. Things are loading up while I'm getting to full screen. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Hey, tell your friends, tell your family. Take Mr. Lang's class. Great skills. Grade A on the transcript. Things are looking good. Let's get her done. What do you say? Hiding a field. Let's do it. All right. So you guys, are going to click the category ID field name in the header row. So here's our header row over here, and we want the category ID right there, different categories. All right. We're going to click the More button in the Records group on the Home tab. So Home tab, Records group, More, down arrow. And what are we going to do here? We're going to click the Hide Fields. All right, so hide fields right here. Sometimes we don't need to know all that information. We can easily get that back. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit the save button right there, and we'll check our answer. Hey, we're off to a great start. As you know, no turning back now. Let's get her done. Inserting a field in design view. Click the department field row. So we've got to open up the table first. Employee information table. All right. Sometimes our answer keys don't tell us what table to open up or maybe what form. So we are in our employee information table. Now we've got that done. Let's go ahead and click in the department field row. All right. So we need to be in design view though. And so again, the directions don't tell us. We need to come up to our view. We're in data sheet view. We need to change it to design view right there. So we can always get back to the data sheet view. We're in design view. Now let's rock and roll. Click the department field row. So department field row right there, field name, department, we've got it selected. Again, as you saw, I chose the black arrow there to select that whole row there. Okay, we now are going to click Insert Row button in the Tools group. So in the Tools group, we're going to insert a row. It's going to insert a row above it. All right. We're going to type middle initial now. So we're going to come and click in there, middle, and no spaces, initial. And I'm going to make sure I spelled that right. I didn't mess anything up. Middle, capital I, initial. Again, capital I there. As you can see, there's no spaces there. I'm going to go ahead and click my save button, and it probably will put short text in there for the data type. That's great. That's all we need is short text. All right, and that's all we need to do. Let's go ahead and close that. There were more directions, but obviously you saw that starting back over. 2 for 2. Creating an input mask with the employee log table displayed. Employee log table displayed. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Again, we may not have had that direction. We're going to go ahead, and we also want to be in the design view, which we are not. We are in the data sheet view. Usually by default, it will open that up. We're going to be doing a lot in the design view. So make sure you're in the right view, design view there. Okay, so with that, we're going to click the Input Mask property box in the Field Properties section. So I'm going to go down here. Here is our field properties down here. And it wants us to click in the Input Mask property box for the field properties. So the input mask right here, we're going to click in there. There's our input mask. We'll click in there. And let's see what we're going to do. And we're going to click on the build properties. So there should be, I bet you it's underneath here. It should be, there's that button right there that I'm looking for, those 3 dots. All right, we click that. Now we are in the property build here. And we're going to choose next. We want our phone number. All right, that's the style of phone number we want. So we'll click next again. And we'll go ahead and choose finish at that point. And that then puts in for the input mask, we're going to want a phone number in kind of that style. I know it looks kind of interesting, but Access Wizard created that for us. Let's go ahead and close that, and we'll check our answer. might have missed something. That happens once or twice. We'll figure it out though together. Yep, missed something. What did I do mess up, Mr. Lang? With the employee log table displayed in the design view, use the input mask wizard to apply a long time format in the login time field. I was in the wrong field. We'll reset that. We'll get her done. Thanks for hanging out with me while I make mistakes. All right, let's do this again. Okay, employee log, we got that. All right, we're going to be in our design view. We'll get to that. Now that we're in design view, in the field properties, we're going to click in the input mask property build option. Input mask, property build. All right, and we need to click the input mask property build box button. Again, that is behind that. So I just want to read this real quick too. Use the input mask wizard to apply the long time format in the long time field. All right. So that's where it didn't tell me. Click in the input mask property box field in the property section. I need to be in the log in time, I believe. To the log in time field. Log in time. I need to be here. I didn't select that. Now that I have that selected, now I'm going to go down to my input mask. I now need to get to this over here. I think I know what to do from the rest of it. So input mask, we're going to go and choose next. We want long time. That's the time we want. And we'll choose finish for the input mask for that login time. And I'll go ahead and hit my save key. And I'll choose check my answer. I was in the employee ID field name and not the login time. There we go. We've got her fixed now. Modifying the field properties in design view. Let's do it. So we need to, with the ordered tables open. So we got the orders table open, which is good. All right. We're going to be in design view, which it looks like we are. Design view, great. Click in the product ID field row. Product ID. That would have helped me out in that last direction. Click in the field size property box. Field size right now is set to long integer. I bet you I need to get to the property, which I need to right there. Again, now it kind of blanks things out. I wish that was, it's so big. We're going to change it to byte. Long integer to byte. And now that's there. And I'm going to close my answer key. So again, we change the long integer to byte in the product ID. And I'll go ahead and hit my save key, click it a couple times to activate it and check my answer. All right. I was getting worried there for a second. Creating a lookup field. Let's do it. So with the employee information table displayed in design view, employee information, design view, there we go. We're going to use the lookup wizard to create a lookup field. So now we're going to click the data type column in the department field row. The data type column in the department field row. So department field row, data type, we'll click in there. We'll click the down arrow. And we will choose the lookup wizard down below here. And now I believe we will choose, I will type in the values that I want. So we'll type that in that we want, the values that we want, choose next. And now in our first row of our first column, all right, we're going to type in sales with a capital S, plural, sales. Click in the second row of column 1. So that's right underneath it. Ooh, I want to go back. I didn't click in the second row. So rows left to right, right? So we're in our column 1 and we are in the second row. And now what do I need to type? Marketing. Make sure, oh, I got an N in there, not narketing, but marketing. Let's do that again. Marketing right there. All right, I'm going to double check this. Marketing, it looks like we're good. I'm going to choose next, and I'm going to choose finish, and I'll go ahead and choose my save button, and I'll close this. So departments now can only be either sales or marketing. That's the departments we're going to be looking for. Again, we're just setting up these databases. You'll see how all that stuff will work in future ones. So creating a one-to-many relationships, very useful. As you can see, you've got multiple tables here. All right, we want our employee ID field and our employee information. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our database tools, I believe we are. And then we're going to click our relationship buttons. Now, when we do, we've got to move our answer key because over here on the right now, it's saying, well, what tables do you want to use in your relationship? So we want to double click the employee information, double click that. That should appear over here, and it doesn't. The reason why is because I moved my directions and unactivating. So let's see if that will stay somewhere. All right, stay there. All right, now that I've clicked back in my Access database, now let me double click employee information, and it's there. We're going to double click the orders. All right, orders there, and now we have orders, our two tables that we want right there. All right, I'm going to move this back over. Give me 1 second for you to move. There it is. I'm going to click back in my document to reactivate it. So now this is the important part. Drag the employee ID field from the employee's information table to the field list box in the related field in the orders table field box item. So employee ID here to employee ID here. So I'm going to hover over this one, click, I'm dragging, I'm holding my left mouse button down and I'm dragging it over the employee ID in the orders table. Now I'm releasing it. This edit relationship comes up. So from the employee format table to the orders, I have employee ID to employee ID. I'm going to go ahead and choose create. And it will put a line. So if I'm working in sales and I made an order, it's going to have my employee ID. It's going to then be the same employee ID that goes to, obviously, let's say I'm employer number one. It's going to then have that relationship where it knows employee number one. It's not going to have my name and everything, but they'll know through that relationship that that was me. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my save button there. And I'll close this. And I'll check my answer. There we go. Hey, I didn't even realize it. We're finally more than a quarter of the way done. Applying validation rules in Design View with the order details table displayed. Order details table displayed. We want to be in the design view, so we're going to jump this from the data sheet view. Here's all our data to us designing it, the design view. So here's our column headings and stuff like that, field names, if you will. So we're going to click the quantity field. All right, so just come over here, black arrow pointing to the right, the quantity field. We have that. We're going to click in the validation rule property box in the field properties section. Field properties section, we want to be in the validation rule right there. All right, and we're going to do less than 150. So if there's anything over 150, it's going to say nope. So if we try to type in 160 in the quantity that we need to order, it will not let us. It has to be anything less than 150. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, which I don't have OK. I'm just going to press my enter key. I was looking down at this one. My bad. Enter key, locked it in. I'm going to go ahead and hit my save key there and choose to close my answer key and check my answer. There we go. Deleting a field. We've done that before. All right, so the employee information table, we'll open that up. And what do we want? Click the hourly rate field. So I believe we want to be in the design view. Okay. And we want to go down and we want to click in the hourly rate field. So hourly rate, boom, everything is selected. Tools group, delete rows. And that row has been deleted. Click yes button, click the save button. So I didn't see a yes button there, but I am going to hit the save button. A couple times, and we'll see if we deleted that row okay. Yes, we did. Great job. Editing a one-to-many relationship. Click the Database Tools tab. Database Tools tab. Up here. There we go. That's what we needed to do. Now we got to go to our relationships. These relationships have already been chosen for us. All right. So what we need to do is we need to go to this line right here. All right. Because can you believe it? This employee ID may sell multiple items. Only the same ID. So me, I'm employee number one. I may sell 5 orders today. All right. I need this to be one to many because I can have many orders going back to my employee ID. So I'm going to click on that line right there to make that active right there. All right. With that line active, I'm going to click the edit relationship buttons in the tools group on the relationship tools design tab. Relationship tools design. I'm going to choose the edit relationship button. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the enforce referential integrity. If I said that right, checkbox to insert a check mark. Enforce the referential integrity. And that's all I need to do. I'm going to click OK. Now you see a one to many, an infinite logo, if you will, the infinite symbol. I can have just me, but I may have multiple orders, and we want to keep that relationship going. All right, I'm going to click the save button there, close that, check my answer. Awesome. Moving a field in the design view. So where do we want to be with the employee information table open? Employee information table open in the design view. We'll take it from the data sheet to design. We are going to move the social security number field row between the employee ID and last name row field. Save the table. So you have some directions there too, but I'm going to activate my social security. I want to move it up underneath the employee ID. That black line now is underneath the employee ID, but before the last name, and I'm going to drop it. All right there. So if we look at this right here, click the field selector bar, which I did. Hold down the left mouse button to drag it, the horizontal line between the employee ID and the last name fields, and then release the mouse button and we'll click the save. Just want to move that data. So now if I actually looked at it in the data view, I now have employee ID, then their social security number. I'm going to go back to design view just because I don't know what Cirrus may do to me otherwise. And there we go. I believe we did good. There we are. Hey, halfway done. Formatting table data in the order details table. Order details table. A lot of data. Change the format property of the data sold field from short date to long date. Save the table. So I'm going to go over probably to my design view again, right? So we are going to click the data sold field row. Date sold. My gosh, if I can read. Date sold. That's what I'm looking for. When did we sell that? Click the format property box in the field properties section. All right, it reads short date. So I'm going to click that. But what we need to get to is underneath it. So I'm going to close this because I think I know what to do here. So we're going to change that property from short to long date. So we want the whole days, month, day, and year. So we'll click that long date. We'll save the table and we'll check our answer. Looks like we did good. Sometimes, again, those answer keys get in the way. So there we go. Insert a field caption. All right, let's do it. So we are going to be in open the products table. All right, so we're not in the queries. All right, sometimes this is to inquire. They're going to do some searches about the data in these tables. All right, but we're going to go to the products, all of our different products that we own, from baseball gloves to rollerblades. We're probably going to jump into our design view as we've been there. All right, so double click the products in the tables group. We did that. Click the manufacturer's name field column heading, manufacturer's name. So, you know what? I think we want to be back. Click the table fields tab. I'm going to go back. I think we might want to be in data sheet view. So manufacturing name. All right. Click the tables field tab, table fields tab. Click the name and caption button in the properties group. Properties, name and caption. And now we're going to click in the caption. All right. And now we are going to type in here manufacturer. And we're going to spell it right, not like how they spelled it. They miss an end, I think, in manufacturer. So manufacturer. Manufacturer. Looks like we did that right. I'm going to go ahead and click in the OK button and I'll hit save. And I'll close that and I'll check my answer. All right, good job. Inserting a field description. Let's do it. Open the products order tab. Products order tab, table. Okay. Double click the products order table in the groups. We just did that. Click the supplier ID field. Supplier ID. So you know what? We learned how to do this last one. I'm going to double click between the two. There's my supplier ID again with the black arrows pointing to the left and right with a line going up and down, making sure I got the right one. So I'll select that right there. Click the supplier ID field heading to select the account. We did that. Click the table fields tab. Table fields tab. Got that. Click the name and caption. Name and caption. In the properties group, click the description text box. Description text box. Type refer to suppliers table. Refer to suppliers. I don't think we, oh yeah, we do have a capital S there. And no capital T. So this is just going to give us some information if we need to. Hey, refer to that suppliers table. All right, our suppliers table if we need to for that supplier ID. All right, let's do it. And we'll click save. We'll click off the answer key. Maybe. There we go. And we'll check our answer. And we'll check our answer. There we go. Gets wonky sometimes, doesn't it? Hey, we'll get through it together. Great job, though. Great job. Assigning a default value for a field. Let's do it. It's got to be at least that number. So we're going to go ahead and open up what table here? Claim amount in the medical table. So let's open up our medical table. And do we need to the column heading for claim amount? Claim amount. Click the tables field tab. Click the default value button in the properties group. Properties default value. And we're going to type in 0 right there. It's got to equal at least 0, right? And we'll click OK for the claim amount. And we'll go ahead and choose save. And we'll close that. And we'll check our answer. All right, great job. Getting close. Assigning a field size. Let's do it. We're going to go ahead and work in our in the IMP data. All right, the employee data table looks like we're in. So now that we're going to click the department code field heading. Department code field. Again, I don't see the code, but if I wanted to see it, I could double click there. I see the department code. Got that. tables fields. Click the field size measurement box in the properties group, field size. And we want to type 3 right there. All right. And we'll press my enter key. And we'll go ahead and choose yes to that and save button. So what that's saying is if we try to type in something larger than 3 digits, so let me try to type 5,000. I'm still pressing my 0, won't let me. All right, 500 is the most. The biggest field size can be is 3. If we're doing like a zip code, you'd want 5 so people wouldn't type more than 5 numbers for a zip code, for example. All right, great job. We are now 3/4 of the way done, creating a 1-to-1 relationship. We've done that before. All right, we're going to go ahead and click on the database tools there. And I believe we're going to be in our relationships button in the relationship group. Now, this is where we need to move that a skosh. We're going to be in our employees. So we'll get employees, double click, and we may have to double click again because as you know, I moved the answer key. So now I got to reactivate my application. So we got employees back there, I promise you. We'll take a look in again here in a second. And then the employee contact information. We want that one open as well. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. That's closed. I'm going to move my answer key now. All right, so we've got our employees table and our employees contact information and our relationship. We did close that. Drag the field employee ID from the employees table field list box to the employee ID field in the employee contact information table field list box. So let's do it. Employee ID from here, I'm going to click and drag over to here and drop it right on top of there. Brings up the edit relationships button. Let me see what we got to do. So we've got that. Click the create button in the edit relationship. So we create it. Again, in our employee contact information, we just have like their employee phone number and their email. But in the employee information, you have all sorts of stuff, what department they're in, what designation they're in. But we want to keep these two related to each other. All right, let's go ahead and hit our save key. I don't know if I did, so I'm going to click that a couple times, reactivate access. And we'll check our answer. Beautiful. Creating a table in the data sheet view. Let's do it. So click the Create tab. Then we're going to click the Table button in the Tables group. The Tables button in the Tables group. And it's not the table design, is it? Nope, the table. All right, we're going to click that. Starting to create a new table here. And we're going to go ahead and click the short text button in the add and delete group in the table fields tab. All right, table fields, add and delete. We're going to choose what again? Add and delete. Click the short text right there. All right, so it brings in this field number 1. All right, and with field number 1 selected, we're going to type in last name. So we're just going to type last name. Again, camel case there. We have that one in there now for last name. Beautiful. We're going to press the enter key. That locks that in there now. All right. And we're going to click the save button. And now it's saying, okay, what do we want to call this table in our Fisherman Cove database? And we want to save this as customers. All right, with a capital C, double checking my spelling. Customers looks good. I'll hit OK. I now have a customer table that I've created. All right, and I'll click Save here. And just for giggles, if I go over to the design view, that's where we can start designing who our customers are. What data do we want short term? When did they become our customers? Stuff like that. All sorts of cool stuff that you can add. All right, I'm going to check this real quick. And it looks like we've got that done there. Almost done. Creating a table in the design view. Let's do it. Click the Create tab. Click the Table Design button in the Tables group. Table Design button in the Tables group. All right, am I doing this right? Click the Create tab. Got that. Table Design. There we go. Table Design button in the Tables group. Table Design now. All right, and now we're going to type order ID for our field name. All right, I'm going to press my Enter key. What kind of text do I want here? I'm going to press my Enter key again because we're going to accept short text for our that. What is our description going to be? We're going to type, so let me make sure this is right. We entered, accept short text. We want to enter order number for the description. As the direction says there, do not type the period though. Press the Enter key. And we'll hit our Save button. And what is going to be the name of this table? Orders with a capital O, and I'll click OK. And we'll click Yes. It said it doesn't have a primary key. We're all right with that. Click that Save button there. Again, if we change this to our data sheet view, we're just starting our ID and order numbers and stuff like that. This is where you could enter in all that data. This is where you're designing it, all right, for your order numbers and stuff. Again, I believe we hit our Save key. We're going to close our answer key there, check our answer. Perfect. Inserting a total row. Let's do it. So we're going to click the Totals button in the Records group on the Home tab. Home tab, Records group, and we are going to click the Totals. So we're going to do some math. Totals there. It brings in a total row for us. Now we're going to click in the total row of the sales amount column. Sales amount, total row, playing some Battleship there, sales amount, total row. We're going to choose the down arrow now, and you guessed it, we're going to add up all that stuff. We're going to sum up that whole column right there, and $2,940 in total sales. I'm going to go ahead and hit my sales button there, or my save button there. I'm going to go ahead and check my answer. There we go. So close. Applying a field validation rule in datasheet view. So click the region field column heading. Region field column heading right there. We're going to click the validation button in the field validation group. Field validation group. So give me 1 second. Click the table fields. I missed that direction right there. My bad. Now the validation button in the field validation group. And we're going to choose field validation rule. And we're going to choose in equals. Where's my equals key? There it is. No space. My bad. North, capital N, or south. All right. Oh, and I capitalized the O. That's no good. Let me look at that again. Equals north or south, and we'll click OK. So to see if that worked, if I typed in east, one or more values are prohibited. You can only have north or south. And I'll do a Control Z to undo that. And I'm going to hit my save key one more time. But as you can see, those validation rules are nice, so people don't put in information that they don't need. We'll check our answer. Oh, drum roll. Hey, I think we did good. I think we did good. 20 out of 20. Awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. That's our last skills check exam in Access. Great job. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Obviously, I'm so proud of you guys. Thanks for being my students. And as always, hey, be kind. Have a great one, you guys. See you soon.